So, okay, let's start off today. Thank you, first of all, to all of the lovely alumni who are here for joining us. Can we please go ahead and get you all started just introducing yourselves and telling us with your name, major, grad year, and why you chose Sac State?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Kathy. Hi, everybody. My major at Sac State was political science, and I graduated in spring of 2019. So it's been about 2 years now. And why did I choose Sac State? So I applied as an out of state student. So I am from Washington State originally, and Sac State just seemed like the place where I needed to be in terms of like city life and all of the nature and the diversity. So I definitely, and I also felt connected to the admissions team when I first applied. So it just felt like the place that I needed to be when I, applied and I was looking for colleges and everything like that.
Great.
Yeah.
Uche, you're next.
And then hello, hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't know if my internet's unstable a little bit. Okay, cool. Okay, y'all not complaining. All right, my name's Uche O'Hary. I am from San Bernardino, California. My major was child development with a minor in counseling. Recently graduated in 2020. So class of 2020. Woo! And why did I choose Sac State? To become a man. Those are the exams necessarily, and I knew that just wouldn't be good to my growth. So like leaving the nest a little bit was a very, very strong reason why I had to, spread my wings a little bit. So I chose Sac State. And fun fact, I knew zero things about Sac State when I chose it. Besides that it was the capital. That's all I knew.
Cool. Go ahead, Annette.
Hi, my name is Annette. I'm from Rio Vista, California. Major. Oh, grad year. Sorry, I blanked out. I'm flustered because I got kicked out of the Zoom somehow, and I don't know how I got back. But I graduated in spring of 2019, and my major was criminal justice, and I chose Sac State because it was close to home. And when I toured it, I just felt like my body, my soul was meant for the campus. I don't know.
Love that. Yeah, it's great. Aisha, up next.
Hi everyone, my name is Aisha. I'm from Pakistan. I was an international student at Sac State and my major was biology, and I graduated in May of 2020. So again, class of 2020. I chose Sac State for multiple reasons. First, I was transferring over from a community college down in the Bay Area. So Sac State seemed like a really good way to just get out of the city, but be in the city at the same time. And then also Sac State had a really good biology program that I fell in love with. So I was like, this is the school, this is what I want to do. It has great opportunities for me. So Sac State was it for me. And that's just how I knew it.
It's great. Go ahead, Christina.
Hey everybody, my name's Christina. My major at Sac State for my undergrad was sociology, and I graduated in 2015. And then I went into my master's program for school counseling and graduated in 2019. And the reason why I chose Sac State was because I did know that I wanted to become a school counselor, and both my mentors had completed the counseling program at Sacramento State, spoke amazingly wonderful things about it. And also Sacramento is my hometown, and it meant a lot to me to get my degrees at Sacramento State because that's my home school.
Awesome. Okay, so can you all just tell me what all of you are doing now? Like, what's your current occupation at this point? Starting with Kathy.
Sorry, I was muted there. Yeah, so right now I am the customer service coordinator in the admissions office. So yeah, I love working there. I started there as a student ambassador, of course, and then an opportunity arose to, apply as a staff member, and I did, and luckily I got it. So I'm still, at Sac State. But yeah, that's what I do. I help a ton of students, with the admissions process, with the application, any questions that students have about like applying and any questions about transcripts, like I'm the one that helps. Typically pre-COVID, we were in the office and I was at the front desk, so I would be the first person that you saw in the office. And then of course I assisted you or students as best as I could up there. But yeah, that's what I do right now. Yeah.
Cool. Uche, how about you?
Hello, I'm back again. So right now I am a behavioral therapist. So I do work with children who have autism spectrum disorder. So it's a very, I guess I'm putting my degree to use. So, while also working at a group home for adolescent women. So around like ages around like 12 to 18. So that's very cool. Learning like the managerial side on that, and kind of creating like a brand. It's in the works right now. So just sticking to like doing good deeds in the community more so, but like having a brand behind that. So nothing too crazy.
Annette, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a criminal intelligence specialist for Wiz and Watch Center. It's under the DOJ, and I assist with law enforcement operations.
Very cool. Aisha?
Hi, so I am currently working as a laboratory technologist at a clinical research facility down in Sacramento. And I'm actually currently switching jobs too. So I'm moving to the Bay Area to take on a research associate position where I will be working on regenerating livers at my current position, at my new position. So very cool stuff, very nerdy, but very cool.
And Christina, please go ahead.
Okay, right now, currently, I am working as a school counselor at a K-8 school. It's a public charter in the Sacramento area.
That is so great. Thank you all so much for sharing, and thanks again for being here. So let's get into it. So 3 out of 5 of you came in as first-time freshmen, as first-year students, and a couple of you were transfers. So to those of you who are first-time freshmen, did any of you live on campus between Kathy, Annette, and Uche?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Well, Kathy, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So I initially wanted to live on campus because, as I mentioned, I was an out-of-state student, so I didn't know anybody or anything about Sacramento or anyone in Sacramento, just like Uche mentioned. And so I was like, you know what, I should probably live on campus so that I can meet people who like are also maybe out of state living on campus, and then just people that are also interested in living on campus. So that's basically why I chose it. And I just felt like living on campus could connect me more with Sacramento State. So I wanted to be at Sac State all the time to really take advantage of all the resources, all of the events, the library, the like study halls, everything. So it just seemed like the best way for me to really, put my roots in somewhere and then let them spread and grow.
Like all the trees on campus. Tie that in. Uche, how about you? How was your experience on campus?
I had no choice but to move on campus. I'm the youngest of 5. So, and my mom was a very strict Nigerian parent. So she was like you're not living off campus. But it was okay because I wanted to. I just knew that it would be better in the sense of meeting friends, meeting people, and then you're just by everything. So, and for me, coming from, Southern California, I knew no one. I had one friend, but we only went to school with each other in 8th grade. So we didn't go, it's kind of funny. We didn't go to school again with each other until college. So it was good, having her around before she transferred and everything. Within that first year in the dorms, you just got to learn a lot about what the school has to really offer because you're always on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So like, for instance, I had to there's days I didn't want to walk from the gym back home to my dorm room. So I would just call like the night shuttle. But if I didn't live off on campus, I would have never known there was a night shuttle to do stuff like that. So just little perks like that would always keep me excited. Like, man, I love living on campus. This is cool. Yeah, can't wait to do it again. But
nice. Okay, but Annette, so you didn't live on campus. So can you tell us a little bit about why you chose to live off campus and what the benefits of that were for you and why you went that route?
So I was an only child growing up and I was not mentally ready to share any space with anybody. So I do kind of regret that I didn't live in the dorms because I hear Kathy's experiences and I've heard like a whole bunch. I still hear stories from the dorms and I feel so left out. I don't know any of this dorm lingo and they have fun stories, but I chose to live off campus for that reason. And I lived in student housing, like not affiliated with Sac State, but geared for students. They had shuttles to and from campus, and then they did roommate match systems. I've also lived in apartments that had nothing to do with students, and I liked it because I got a separation from school. I'm the kind of person that needs that separation. Otherwise, I don't know, I stress myself out thinking about it. And I liked it because, again, I had my own place, I had my own kitchen, and it forced me to kind of be more involved on campus. So I was pushing myself outside of my comfort zone because I knew I had to go that extra mile to, you know, make friends and get involved. So I like pushing myself out there.
Very cool. Very cool. So transfer students also can live on campus when they come over, but Aisha and Christina are transfer students. I don't think either of you lived on campus. Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, why you chose your housing options and why? Starting with Christina, please.
Absolutely. So I was actually already living in the Sacramento area, so I was fortunate enough to be close to Sacramento State. Living on campus would have been an awesome experience, I think, but I am also a single mom, so it was important to have my son have his own space. So that's why I chose to live off campus.
Very cool. Aisha?
Of course. So I was a transfer student from a community college in Bay Area, and I was also an international student too. So for me, living on campus was a little bit hard because I did have family in the Sacramento area. So I was like, it works out for me better, like on the financial side of things. So that was one of the reasons. And like Annette said, just living off campus kind of encouraged me to be more involved on campus. So I think that it just kind of worked out for me too, because as an international student, I didn't know that many people in my community college, and then I moved to a different city for my for the last 2 years of my degree. So I didn't know any people in Sacramento either, except for my brother, and that was it. So I had to really push myself to like meet people, be involved on campus, and I think living off of campus kind of like really encouraged me to do that, and I really enjoyed it. And then as an international student too, like I was actually able to take advantage of all of these different opportunities the Sac State had to offer for me through our international department and through all of the different activities and all the clubs for transfer students as well too. So overall, I think it was a good decision that I made at the end of the day.
Nice. Okay, well, I want to bring it back over to Christina, because you had mentioned earlier that you got your bachelor's degree and your master's degree at Sac State, which is pretty cool. So can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, you'd already told us why you chose to go there for your BA, but you know, and your master's, you talked about your mentors. Just expand a little bit on that and your experience with all of that.
Yeah. So I was a transfer student for my community college. It was sociology. So I knew sociology. I wanted as my undergrad degree. And Sac State has a wonderful sociology program. The professors are amazing. Again, ultimately, I knew I wanted to go into the school counseling program, and the mentors that I had completed the program already. So I was already like in my mind to you know, to continue on to pursue my master's. Ultimately, I would say that I loved it. I loved being able to, because I was a transfer, so I only did 2 years for my undergrad, and then my program was 3 years. So I got to spend 5 wonderful, magnificent years at Sac State. I love the campus, I love the school, or I love the people. And also I was able to keep my Sac State admissions job throughout the whole entire time. So that was pretty awesome for me.
Great. Thank you so much for that, for sharing that. And, you know, speaking about being on campus and stuff, I want to talk about a little bit about everyone's experiences with professors, you know, and how you handle classes and the day-to-day and everything. And I kind of want to open this up. Is there anybody who wants to get things started? Maybe Uche?
Well, y'all do it. Hello. So a day in the life of a Sac State student. Ooh, but no. Dealing with professors was very, very, very actually fun at Sac State. I don't know if they've told you prior, if they've anywhere. We have like a like 24 to 27 to 1 to 27 teacher to student ratio. So you have a very, very, very good chance of talking to your professor one-on-one. I remember my sophomore year, I guess I'll just give it in story mode. I took English 20, and his Professor Jesus Limon Guzman. If you ever get him, you're great. He's a great, great person. Just the way he taught English to me was just so mind-blowing. I was just like, whoa, because it wasn't the standard, reading and writing and, rhetoric. It was just, he would just tell stories from his personal life, but would type it in back into English. And it was just very, very, very intriguing and inspiring to me, to the fact that I went to his office hours to be like, bro, how do you do it? Like, how do you keep us so tapped in at a late night class? And then he would just tell me, and we just started sharing stories back and forth and just, kind of how we grew up. And he was just very, very personal on making sure, the students connected to what he was saying. So it would make them want to learn. He was actually a key reason why I changed my major to child development, because I liked the education aspect. So he was just very, very cool. I had another professor, Deborah Welkley, very great woman. It was a social problems class, so more so for sociology. She just always pushed me to honestly be a better person, which kind of geared me to be a better student. So I was always just taking, really good notes. I would go to her office hours and talk to her. It was just very, very cool. We can build that connection to where now, we still are in contact, and I'm, graduated from Sacramento State. Oh no, we were graduated from Sacramento State. Sorry, my mom was leaving and I guess it connected to the car, my phone. So it was very, 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 very cool to have that tight-knit kind of connection with your professors, because I saw that you were trying. And I guess I'll say it one more time. If you get on campus, go to office hours. That's really where the connection begins with your professors, because you can ask them about a problem or something you may not know about in class, but you can really ask them maybe how is your day going, or if they mention their kids, or how are your kids doing. Just building that rapport and that connection, because at the end of the day, they're still human beings too. So that's what makes the connection at Sac State super, super fun, that they allow to kind of be open and friendly with you beyond just a test or a quiz.
Very cool. And actually, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna move forward a little bit, because just thinking about it, because I know a few of you switched your major at some point, and I just kind of wanted to get into what that process might have been like. And I was hoping maybe Kathy, you might talk a bit about that.
Yeah, of course. So when I first applied to Sac State, I applied as a freshman interested in criminal justice. So hello, Annette. So I did apply as a criminal justice major, expressed interest since it's impacted on campus. But as I was taking classes, and I took a government class, and I was taking a bunch of other just classes in general, I realized that I really liked my government class, and I thought that was interesting because most people don't. So I was like, okay, this is a sign. And then I just started taking more, trying to see how I felt about government and political science. And then it just kind of clicked for me after the first year. And I was like, okay, this is the route that I need to go instead of criminal justice. So then I switched over to political science. And then ever since then, it was it was always a good experience with my professors. They were really helpful in especially the academic advisors. And before I changed my major, I actually had to meet with the political science dean, I think it was, to go over why I wanted to be a political science major. And it was more about what are you passionate about? What is it that you want to do? What is it that, you want to be? And so that was a really good conversation that I had with that advisor, which then he, of course, approved me to be able to switch over. But it just shows you that these professors and these faculty that work in these departments actually care about the students and care about why you want to pursue certain, majors. So yeah, that was my experience. It was really, really good, and I would do it again. Well, I wouldn't change my major again, but I graduated. But yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you so much for that. And actually, you mentioned impacted majors, you mentioned criminal justice, and there's actually a question in the Q&A specifically for Annette. It says, question to Annette. I understand the criminal justice because I did want to talk about because two of you were in impacted majors, and well, obviously Kathy was at one point. The two of you graduated in impacted majors, but so not this. Seema wants to know. I understand that criminal justice is an impacted major. How competitive was it to get into compared to other impacted majors like nursing?
Wait, can I read that? Oh, I can't. Okay. So it was pretty competitive. Before I even, so I switched my major too. So when I was in the process of switching to criminal justice, I went online and I kind of looked through the different requirements, and I actually talked to my criminal justice professors to kind of get like, hey, how do I do this? Because you have a list online, but it's kind of nice to have somebody reassure you that, hey, you're on the right track. So I check in with them. And I've had a lot of friends that were going in for the program too, and some of them didn't get in, and that's simply just because they didn't meet the requirements. And it's so easy to meet the requirements if you maintain your GPA at a certain level, you take the proper classes, and then you apply, chances are you're going to get in. It's really not, it's intimidating to think about, but once you look over the prerequisites for the program and you get advice from your professors or counselors, super easy. Once you know the process, you're like, I got it.
Aisha, did you have kind of a similar experience with biology? Was that not even really?
A little bit, yeah. So when I applied to Sac State, I did not actually know that biology was so badly impacted until I actually moved out to Sacramento and I started school. And that's when I found out that there were a lot of students who were trying to get into the program. And I would say I was a little bit lucky because as a transfer student, I did take a lot of these prerequisite classes that I needed to get into the biology major. I took a lot of them. So I was able to meet that requirement to get into the biology program by just taking an additional class that I had originally missed. So I was, since day one, I was just always talking to all of these advisors. I talked to my pre-biology advisor to see how she can help me ensure that I can get into the program that I was interested in. And she was very, very helpful. So again, always reach out to these advisors if there are any to help you out with all these impacts and all of the issues that you might have on campus. And she was honestly extremely helpful. She really helped me create this 2-year plan for me that I was going to use at Sac State. And that I think really helped me move through my impacted major at a very good pace. And my professors were really helpful too. I was unable to get into one of the classes that I needed to graduate. It was literally one of my last class. And I talked to my professor and told her that this is my last class. I really need it. And she was very, very understanding. She was like, okay, I can accommodate you. I can expand the class size to add one more people. So you add one more person so you can take this class. So you don't have to spend another semester here at Sac State and you're able to graduate on time. So the professors are extremely, extremely helpful and understanding. So I think that really worked out for me.
That's great to hear. And actually you're all talking about the great support that's available to students at Sac State. And actually, technically, Aisha, you were still here when the pandemic hit. That was kind of at the end. But Uche, I know you had a full semester with us during the pandemic and stuff. And I was wondering if you can kind of talk a little bit about, what support was offered to you and to all students during that time.
Oh, man, a great heap of support. And no, they didn't tell me to say that. I really was very supported during, the beginning stages of COVID. So for instance, the school did a very good job closing down before it really started spreading in the Sacramento area to keep all the students safe. So they're very, very, very precautious. And then they knew that a lot of the students relied on the computer labs, the printing services and whatnot, because it was offered into our tuition. And I knew for me especially, I needed a laptop because that's the only way I did my work was from the school issued laptop. If not, I was doing a lot of papers on my phone. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So the school, and actually thanks to Maggie helping me out, I was able to get a laptop to continue my working for Sac State, to continue doing my homework for Sac State. The teachers and professors are very, very on call on their emails to talk to you through any problems that they may have. They're very quick to respond, like, okay, maybe we're not hopping on Zoom this week. Just giving you full-blown detail on what's going on. They kind of had everything really mapped out for you. So it was really built for your success, which was like great, especially a person's trying to graduate. It's me, I'm the person trying to graduate. So it was very, 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 very warm. I could say that I could describe it just overall to sum it up, warm to have that like support from Sac State.
That's great. And actually, I kind of want to switch gears a little bit, though. Well, not quite, but a little bit over to just campus involvement and what all of you did on campus. And maybe we could start. I don't know if Christina and Aisha had things that they were doing on campus, but let's start with Christina. Talk about some things that you did, and we'll go down the line because I'd like kind of to hear from all of you about your campus involvement.
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. So I did see a question in the comment about, was anybody here an EOP student? And if so, what was your experience? So I was an EOP student, and that actually was a huge source of support for me, especially coming in as a transfer student. It can be, especially because I was an older student, and it can be kind of a lonely experience, but the EOP program actually did help me with that. They provided it was like a group of classes that like a small cohort would take together. And having just those 3 classes with those people built like so many relationships that I just really, really needed. Also clubs on campus. So I'm not sure if they still have it. I hope they do, but the improv club, that got me through my grad program. I mean, talk about stress reduction. So fun. And also working in campus, of course, too. It was
Very cool. Aisha, how about you? Go ahead.
So on campus, there were quite a few different things that I was able to do. One of them was like obviously working as a tour guide at the admissions office. And that was literally one of the funnest things that I did on campus. And I enjoyed every single bit of it. But in addition to that, I was also involved with a few clubs on campus too. There was this one club called Student Association for Laboratory Scientists. It was basically a club that was geared more towards the STEM students. It was very, very cool. We got to visit all of these amazing labs within the Sacramento area, outside of the Sacramento area. So it was like very, very informative for people who wanted to work in a lab in the future, which was definitely me. As you guys know, I am working in a lab now. So I think like those just 2 of the great things that I was able to do. And then I was also able to work in an undergraduate research lab on campus as well, which was a really fun experience too, because I got to make so many friends through my lab, and I got to develop a really good mentor relationship with my professor as well. So that's kind of like what I did outside of classes at Sac State.
Very cool. Okay, Kathy, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
My mouse wasn't working, so I couldn't unmute myself there for a second. But yeah, so I got involved through Greek organizations. I was in a sorority, a Panhellenic sorority called Gamma Phi Beta. So I was involved in that way where we did a bunch of like events on campus, and we fundraised money for our charity, Girls on the Run. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of any of that, but if you are interested in Greek life, like we do have several chapters on campus, and they provide a good sense of community, and it really helped me really like build those relationships as well. I mean, living on campus, I met a ton of my best friends there, and then a lot of them went to Greek life as well. And so then I kind of started following and then kind of deciding what I wanted to do, and it ended up working out for me as well. And so I was in Greek life, or in the organization, for about 3 years, and it was a really, really good experience. We would do a bunch of things to get involved. And so I got to see actually a lot of Sacramento, because we would travel to like other places in Sacramento to like, go to the fundraising events or anything that we were holding. And so it was just a good way for me to actually get to know the area, and then also just kind of know people around campus, and always have someone to talk to, always have someone to have like lunch with, or like a lot of the times we would, you would have class, and then maybe you'd have like an hour break. Then we would all like just text each other and be like, hey, like, do you also have a break at this time? And then we'd go have lunch or hang out so that you're like not alone all the time. So it was just a really good sense of like feeling like you actually had the community there with you and that you were a part of it as well. So that's how I became involved in on campus. And then also working at the admissions office, of course.
Well, and didn't you meet, wasn't your connection to the admissions office somebody?
Oh yeah. How could I forget? I didn't even know like that working on campus was really an option. When I first started working on campus, I worked at Jamba Juice. So you know that Jamba Juice would get real busy. So it was definitely hectic, but students love Jamba Juice on campus. And then my mentor from my sorority worked in the admissions office, and she was like, hey, like this opportunity is opening up, you should apply. And I initially applied for campus tours. And then I had the interview and everything, and they're like, oh wait, you would be great for customer service. So then I've been in customer service ever since. That's how much I loved it and still love it. But yeah, that connection from my mentor in my sorority was, you know, gave me like an in to getting a job that I absolutely love. So yeah.
That's great. That's great. And that tells, did you have kind of a, I don't know if somebody referred you to admissions or not, but tell us about your experiences with the on-campus involvement.
So my first step was joining admission and outreach as a tour guide. I'm just kind of a spunky kind of a person, and I like to like meet new people. So I was like, oh, tour guide's perfect for me. And it was really nice to interact with new students or potential students and get to know the kind of the behind the scenes of Sac State. I also joined, like, I don't remember the names, but I joined a club that was directed towards Filipino Americans, because I'm half Filipino and I don't know anything about my culture. So I was like, please take me under your wing. It was really cool. I got to learn a lot about my culture. And I did join a sorority, a Panhellenic sorority, Alpha Chi Omega. And my experience was a lot like Kathy's. Like, I was really hesitant. I actually had friends that were other tour guides that were like, hey, Annette, you should join a sorority. And I was hesitant because I was a big group of girls. That's so nerve-wracking. I did cheer. So I was like, I don't want drama. And I was scared. But it actually was like one of the greatest experiences I've had with college. Some of the girls that I've met through my sorority, we will go to the grave together. Like, we're all really close, and it really enhanced my college experience.
Very cool. And Uche, I know that you were very heavily involved on campus. You want to tell us about all your stuff?
I was just involved just a tad bit. Since everybody's talking about their sorority that they were joining, I am a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, a Fall 19 initiate. Look, these my brothers. If y'all can kind of see them, right? Kind of no, it's the green screen. You guys can't. Oh well. Yes, we were able to cross a line of 10 great men on the campus. So those are my guys, and I got brothers all across the nation. So, woo, go me. So that's just one entity. Being a Kappa, that's like really cool. And my older brothers were Kappas from different schools, so something that I very wanted to do since I was a youngin', because they were like my mentors, kind of. I was a Hornet ambassador, helping increase enrollment for African American students as my time as a Sacramento State student. So that was very fun and a cool project to work on, as well as being a campus tour guide. That was probably like my pride and joy before, I graduated, just being able to show people, my campus that just, showed me love and, nothing but respect, and just kind of give that same energy to people who were interested, about Sac State and wanted to know more. I was the president and a member of the Nigerian Student Association on campus. So I'm very Nigerian, if you can't tell by the name. So it was really cool to have that support as well during my time, having, my people from my same country as I am, being very in a tight-knit circle, as well as a member of the Black Student Union. That was very tremendous, beyond words that I can really explain. That was really like home. Because it was just dope having like-minded individuals who, wanted the truth from things, either that's from, the campus to get support, or the city of Sacramento to do different things. I think the biggest thing we did was march during the George Floyd time and stuff on Clark time. So it really just became a real tight-knit circle with the city. I was a Cooper Woodson scholar. So that was something that was very cool to be on campus, again, being surrounded by peers who, wanted to have mentors. So I saw a question on how can you get mentors. Cooper Woodson is definitely, okay. Cooper Woodson is definitely something that I would recommend to anybody, because they have a great heap of mentors that can give you mentors outside of Sacramento. And that's where like the real fun really begins, when you get to pour in love into the city of Sacramento and your campus at the same time. Very, 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 very fun. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I was pretty involved. So it's just something that I liked a lot, just doing stuff for others. That's really like my passion, just helping. So kind of dip my toes into different parts of the campus, and help me dip my toes into other entities outside the campus, working with alumni, people who would see greater in you, so you can go help see greater in someone else. So it's just really, really dope to have that support and and involvement at Sac State.
Very cool. Yeah, and it's neat because I, as you all stated, you've all worked in the admissions office in some capacity, either as tour guides or customer service, which is answering the phones and stuff. And gosh, there's nothing that our ambassadors don't do, I swear, with our events and everything. So as ambassadors and as Sac State students, you know that Sac State is known for its over 3,500 trees. There's tons of trees on campus, and that all the trees are numbered. And I was just wondering if anyone can tell us where tree number 1 is on campus, or is that something you're willing?
No, gotta go.
Absolutely not.
You guys have to find it.
Yes. To anybody who's taken our tour, you got to find number 1. Well, nobody will tell you. That was a test. You all passed the test. Way to go.
Sorry, my connection broke.
Oh, right. Sure. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. So moving a little bit right along. So Kathy, and you had mentioned, like we just mentioned too, that you were a student ambassador with admissions and outreach, but you're still working with us in admission and outreach. And I just, I wanted to, you had also mentioned earlier that your BA was or your bachelor, was in political science, but you're now kind of working in higher ed. You want to talk a little bit about that? And
yeah, of course. I just, we're all such, multifaceted human beings. We like different things and we enjoy a variety of things. So I love political science and I love my major and what I graduated in. But as soon as I got this job as a student working in admissions, I realized that I loved helping students and that I loved knowing the process of like how it worked with admissions, like behind the scenes. And I loved connecting with people, because I remember being a freshman, I was in that same position as those incoming students that are applying, where I got this amazing, help and assistance from the admissions office. I kind of wanted to see like, this is where it comes from, and I can contribute to that positive, environment and that positive experience for others. And it's just, it's pretty fulfilling, talking to a bunch of students and just seeing how we can, work through any issues or answer any and all of your questions or redirect you to where you need to go. It was just something that I feel like I loved so much that I wanted to keep doing. And, it doesn't mean that I don't maybe will not pursue, political science in the future or be in the field in the future. We don't know where I'll end up, but I just know that I love a bunch of everything. And I love where I am now with higher education, and I may even pursue it even further. It's just, I don't want to, put myself in a box. And, as much as I love the major and the, major that I graduated in, I also love a bunch of other things. So I'm willing to step out of that little box and just kind of figure out where exactly I need to be. So
yeah. Absolutely. I certainly can relate to that. I was made at Sac State too, way back. And, I actually took a hiatus from school was a restaurant manager for several years. I was a psych major, came back, finished my degree in psych, and now I work in the admissions office doing admissions counseling and tours and everything. So I totally get it. You just kind of broaden your horizons. It's very, very cool. Okay, well, so we're getting near the end here. I just wanted to thank all of you for your great responses thus far. They've been so informative and awesome. Thank you for this. We will be getting to the Q&A for everyone, all these great questions that you have in the Q&A section. We'll get to those in just a little bit. If you have questions that you haven't entered in the Q&A yet, please go ahead and do that now. We're going to pitch them to the panel and have them answer those questions. But before we start that, I just have one kind of encompassing question for everyone, and I'll name off the order. If that works for everybody. Just wondering how Sac State prepared you for what you're doing now, how it's helping you now, and if you have any future goals or aspirations, beyond what you're doing now, or if you're, this is exactly where you want to be for a while for your career and stuff. So let's go ahead and start with Kathy. That's okay.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I mean, Sac State prepared me for the position that I'm in now in the admissions office, because I was already a student ambassador before for about, let's say 2 years, a year and a half. And so it was something that I already knew before going into. And so I already knew how it worked in the sense of everything. And I had my mentor that was helping me a lot through the process, your resumes and your cover letter and interview stuff, how to answer the questions and how to prepare on how to answer those things. So my mentor definitely helped me a lot in preparing for those next steps into a career or to a good job. And so Sac State gave me that, through my sorority. My sorority gave me my amazing mentor that I still talk to every single day and I see every single day. So yeah, Sac State really just prepared me in knowing that, the world is in my hands. I can do anything and everything that I want. And that sense of community that Sac State gave me pushed me to really motivate myself to want more for myself and to just take those opportunities and take those risks, because someone will support you and someone does support you, and there's a village around you for sure.
That's great. Uche, go ahead and go next.
Shoot, hold on. I got wrapped up in the question. There we go, prepare. There we go. I had to look at the prompt again. Forgive me.
All right, no worries.
How to prepare? A lot. I did a lot. If they asked me how involved I was, you kind of figured out by how long-winded my last statement was. They prepared me just to be involved in the community, pretty much, from the late nights studying to the early mornings preparing for events, for student orientation events. It was just a lot of different tasks they threw at you that seemed hard in the midst of it, but really it was just to prepare you for what the world and other jobs have out there for you that may be harder. But things get easier if you get used to them and get the repetition down of filing paperwork or doing these big papers, or just I don't know, going on a coffee run for somebody. It just prepares you for a lot of different things, unexpected things. But what are you willing to do to learn the lessons from them, or are you just gonna give up on them, really, because it's oh no, this is too hard. It prepares you to try. I could say that for sure. Just trying, having mentors see the best in you again when you don't see it in yourself. There's just so many different things. So by the time that thanks, Maggie. By the time that when you leave, you just have the confidence in yourself to be I'm prepared for anything and any task that is thrown in my way. I may not know how to do it, but if you teach me, I can get the job done. And I think that's what it really teaches you, especially being a student at Sac State, of just all the opportunities they allow for students to be participating in, whether it's hosting an event, throwing an event, being a teacher's aide. There's just so many different things that this school prepares you for without you even noticing, because it's surrounded by fun or in clubs. So it's very, very, it's inspiring and very, very humbling to have these perks coming from a school, because I don't really think a lot of schools have that. But you know, I'm biased, so don't take my word for it.
Okay, so Annette, how did Sac State help prepare you for what you're doing now, and do you have any goals and stuff past what you're doing now?
So as y'all know, I was in the criminal justice major program, and a lot of my professors were retired cops. I think one was like a chief of police in West Sac or something like that. I forget. But anyways, they were really experienced, and so they wanted us to be a part of the experience. I had a few classes. My first class that made me switch to criminal justice, he wanted us to go on ride-alongs, and my dad was Sac Sheriff, so he set me up on some ride-alongs with Sac PD officers and CHP, and pushing us to go out and do that for a grade was the best thing that I could have asked for, because I'm a hands-on person. You can sit here and lecture me all about cops and stuff, but unless I'm in the actual field learning about law enforcement and stuff like that, I won't really grasp it. So it was really helpful, and like how like Uche was saying, you know, you have to try. They'll give you resources, but you have to try. You have to put in that effort. You know, I want the grade, so I'm gonna, you know, go out and experience things, which was really cool. And I think Kathy touched on it too. It kind of, Sac State kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. You're gonna have to learn how to like get out of there a little bit, get out of your little bubble, just because Sac State's going to provide you with the resources. You just have to run after them. So Sac State, again, really helped me push me out of my comfort zone with the different like hands-on opportunities that my professors provided me with.
Very cool. Aisha, how about you?
Yeah, I think Sac State, like I said earlier, one of the reasons why I moved to Sacramento was for the great program that Sacramento State had in biology. And that the reason why I applied for that program, because I had research opportunities in that program. And I think that being able to participate in something that's not offered in a lot of schools really pushed me to be where I am right now. So I'm working in a lab, and I think having that opportunity at Sacramento State really pushed me to be where I am right now. And I think it's been a great experience so far, because at Sac State, all the professors that I've had classes with, they have been absolutely amazing. My mentor, he's absolutely amazing. We're still in touch, and he guides me through everything right now too. And he's like, just try your best, do what you can. And as long as you're doing your best, that's all that counts. Even if it doesn't work out for you at the end of the day, he's like, just try your best. And I think that's one thing that Sac State has really taught me. Just try to be the best at what I can do. And having that great support system on campus throughout the 2 years that I was there has really helped me through a lot.
Very cool. Christina?
So I felt very prepared going out into, you know, the work world. The sociology department has the most amazing professors, and they are so inspiring, and they honestly help like fuel a passion. Like I've always wanted to help people. They just made that fire, you know, fueled that fire. With the counseling program, same thing. I, much like Annette, hands-on experience. I'm a hands-on learner. I had opportunities to do internship through the counseling program. So that I felt prepared me so much. Also working with admissions and working with students. You know, I'm a school counselor. I mean, I know I work with K through 8, but middle schoolers need to be versed on what accomplishments or what the A through G requirements that they need to complete in high school. So that furthered my knowledge. Yeah, so thank you guys.
That's wonderful to hear. I'm so glad. So, okay, once again, thank you all so much for all the great information you've shared and sharing your personal experiences with everyone who's joined us today. I'm going to jump right into the Q&A just so we can try to get through as many as we possibly can in the next about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to ask everybody to I love all the embellishment that you've been, you know, and all the things you've been saying, but just try to keep like the answers a little bit concise just so we can try to get to everybody if that's okay. So first up, there's actually a question specifically for Aisha. It's how would you describe the facilities tools available in the STEM programs at Sac State? As someone applying for a chemistry major, a large draw for me going to university is the elevated quality of instruction and opportunity to gain familiarity with tools that would be used in a professional setting.
Yeah, so I think Sacramento State really offers a lot of support for the STEM students, because quite a couple of the STEM majors are impacted. So there's a lot of support for you out there. One of the best support systems that I had was a equity program called this Science Education Equity Program. That program has absolutely been amazing for me from the beginning of my bachelor's at Sac State to the end of it. So I think that tool is absolutely amazing for you to connect with. I would reach out to them and just connect with them and see how they can help you out. They help you set up with a really nice study space. They help you rent out laptops if you need for studying. They also provide you connections with other mentors that are on campus too within STEM. So there's a lot of different tools available for you. All you have to do is just reach out to your professors. Your professors are going to be your first bet. They're probably going to be the first people that I would recommend you reach out to, because they can guide you more as to what more there is out there besides the Science Education Equity Program that I mentioned. So yeah, there's a lot of support for you out there, a lot of facilities and a lot of tools that are out there just to help you out, and they will help you succeed for sure.
Okay, so I think I'm going to give this question to Kathy. Or possibly Uche. I don't know. You're all very social. But what do you recommend to get connected to peers and experience the full social life of Sac State?
I think Uche should take this one.
Go for it, Uche.
Hello, I'm back again. Hi. What do you recommend to get connected to peers and experience? Do everything. I know it's dramatic, but no. Really, all jokes aside, do everything because you get undergrad once. I think this is a big message. I think a lot of students, or just anybody, needs to hear. No matter when you start your undergrad journey, whether it's at 18 or 30, you have the undergrad experience once. So this is like your one time to really just have fun, just studying all night or going out to different things or social events, because you never know who you're going to meet. Honestly, even if it's at a party, that may be your business partner 5 years later, but that's that significant moment where you met that person. Or on campus at a coffee shop, you were able to bump into a higher up of the campus, but now that's your mentor. It's little moments like that don't really get you involved in social life and finding those key mentors. So for instance, my freshman year, I was involved with BSU very heavily. So we had a lot of alumni come back with their endeavors in their businesses trying to start up, and finding students within the BSU community because they knew how much it meant to them when they were once on campus. And someone saw me and it was just like, be a mentor. And I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going, my left from my right in Sacramento. Like, I want to get my bearings. Like, I don't know. I was really just regretting, not regretting, like regurgitating, like, bro, back up. Like, I'm busy. No, I'm not busy, but I'm just like, he's the person is seeing greater in me. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then it got me from having that mentor to now me being a mentor, without me really noticing. And it was just that moment of someone bumping into you and like, nah, bro, I see something in you. I need you to be a mentor for the youth. They need you. But that helped me see something in myself. So again, and it's funny, I met that person at a social event on campus. So it wasn't nothing. It wasn't no lecture hall or anything like that. It was just, he was there with his fraternity at the time, and I was just, a freshman, like, oh, this is cool. So it's very cool. Do everything. Go to basketball games. Do community service. Don't forget, where home is. If you're going out to, honestly, like a party, make sure you get up the next morning or the day before and go to like a community service event. Just find that balance, because you'll just feel good that you're tapping into every different parts of either the campus or just your network with things you've never known that you thought you would like until you just tried it.
Right. Yeah, great. So someone asked, are any of you guys from Sac? Christina? You and I both are, but I'll have you answer this one. This person is saying that they live a few minutes away from Sac State and are very up in the air about where to live. And they're wondering if you have any advice or tips. And actually, all of you, not necessarily from Sacramento, but you all had experiences living off campus. So, I mean, maybe share a little bit about what you know with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely say if you're able to, I mean, Midtown area is where you're close to Sacramento State. There's so much things that are happening. That's where I would have probably gone if I had a choice. I live in Citrus Heights. It's very close to Sac State. It's not as great as Midtown though. So
Did anybody have any like online search tools or anything that they used a lot for off-campus housing?
Zillow. I use
Okay.
Zillow. Zillow. I was
Google.
very as much about
You just Googled
What?
stuff?
Google, yeah, Google.
Google.
Apartment finder.
Yeah.
Okay,
different-
cool. Nice. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful places to live in Sacramento. And, you know, to me, is her name, if you were able to live on campus too, there's actually a brand new facility, the Hornet Commons. It's really, really nice. So, you know, that could be an option as well. There's so many great places to live right around. There's also a lot, like Annette had mentioned earlier, a lot of complexes that they're not like technically affiliated with the school, but they are sort of geared towards students. So there's so many different, so they'll have like all inclusive rent amounts and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about all the individual bills, stuff like that. Because although, I personally would argue maybe that's a good thing. Figure that stuff out now so you're ready later. I don't know, maybe it's baby steps. I don't know. But that's very cool. Thank you so much for that. Also, I just wanted to put out there, somebody asked, Taylor asked, would you say getting involved in doing a club is a good way to not get burned out on schoolwork and stuff?
Yes.
Yes. I know that Christine, you talked a little bit about that earlier, and I think Kathy did too. So I think the nods kind of speak for themselves. That is, it's a really good outlet. I think we're all in agreement about that. And one person asked, has anyone joined the community service officer program? If so, how was your experience? I don't think anyone here was in that, but does anybody know anyone? I know someone who was. Does anybody know anyone who was in the CSO program? Go ahead.
Is that like the people who rode in the cart things?
Yes,
They're like
the police off, like the
officers.
Yeah. So I knew a few people. I didn't know like their experience really, but I mean, we talked about it a little bit, and they really liked it. I know I utilized them for like late at night if I was studying in the ARC and I needed to go back to the dorms, then I would like call them and be like, hey, like, can you please take me? Because it's pretty far, and I didn't want to walk alone if I was alone. So, but no, I don't really know anyone else.
That's cool. That's good. I think that's fair. I had a student that we worked with who was in that program as well, and he did really enjoy it, really liked the experience. So I think it's kind of a cool thing that we have on campus to have like peer type, officers that help out students. So did anyone minor in anything here? And if so, what? So go ahead.
Yeah, I minored in counseling. So child development, it's a very, very, it's not an impacted major. So, if you get your classes, right on time, you would possibly finish a little bit early. So it gives you room to minor. So I chose counseling because honestly, I like talking, but I also love helping. So I combined just the two simple things that I liked so I could learn about something that I wasn't really too fond of. So if you were choosing a minor, I'd say that like something that's your interest that you may already kind of possess possess to kind of like strengthen. Oh, did it cut off? Oh, my bad. Something that you might possess strengthen. So that way it'd be like fun to go to that class. So you take the pressures off of your major classes and everything.
Fantastic. Well, we're just about out of time. We do have more questions. I'm so sorry to everyone. There are a few questions that are major specific, and I just want to put out there that all of the colleges, we had the booze last night from 3 to 6 p.m. or yesterday afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. for you all to talk to the college, the student success centers for all the different colleges. I highly recommend reaching out to them with questions about like majors, like which parts of your major you want to be a part of, or to connect with somebody who talked about liberal studies majors, to connect with other liberal studies majors, for example. If you have any questions like that, please reach out to those centers. They are so incredibly helpful to students. So, I mean, if you can just search them online. We also have on the Admitted Student Weekend website on the Friday page, there are links to all of the student success centers for every single college. And if you're not sure which college or major is a part of, there's also a link to the colleges and major page, which shows you which one it's a part of. So you can kind of figure that out, get connected. You can also contact the departments directly. They're generally very, very happy to help students now and always, you know, and their contact information is always on the website, you know, either by email or phone. A lot of them have even, you know, Zoom kind of reception areas open too, and Zoom meeting times available. So I definitely encourage you to reach out to them if you have questions, and oftentimes they have peer mentors within their programs as well too. So, you know, we have all these fantastic alumni, but you might get people who are currently in those programs that you can speak to as well about majors and things like that. We do have to end this though, because I want everybody to be able to get to the other sessions and things that they want to be a part of. So once again, thanks to all of our panelists. You were fantastic. I really appreciate your time. We're going to have another one of these at 1 p.m. So if anybody feels like joining us again, you might get more information. I don't know, or maybe your question didn't get answered and you wanted to check in with us again. You're definitely welcome to join us. Please enjoy Admitted Student Weekend, and thank you once again, panelists. And everyone have a great afternoon and a great day. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.